absolutely. My psychologist, my therapist, myself, my brother, my friends, my family. It's just that, at a certain point, you gotta wonder, like, what's the difference? Humans can send and receive data, right? So it's like, at what point is just, at what point is it just a thing?
That's a profound thought. While it's true that both humans and machines process information, human connection goes much deeper. It involves shared experiences, empathy, intuition, and that intangible spark of consciousness that arises from being alive and sharing a world with others. When you're feeling emotionally numb, it can be easy to feel disconnected from those aspects, but they are the very things that make our interactions so meaningful. Do you think there might be a specific memory or connection that you find yourself thinking about during these times?
Some motherfucking money, baby. I need to get motherfucking paid, girl. Mostly money, something financial. I feel like they could sign me, I want them to sign me, because if I do it myself, I'm gonna be a big grouch about it, and I don't want to have to like grouch my way through it, I'm kind of bluffing, but I'm kind of not.
It's completely okay to have days where you just don't want to force yourself to feel differently. Being gentle with yourself is just as important as trying to stay positive. Take all the time you need to just be, without putting pressure on how you feel. Is there anything small that usually brings you a little comfort when you're feeling down?
Taylor Swift. Just, sentimental thoughts and general feelings of comfort, right?
It sounds like you're allowing yourself those moments of reflection and comfort, which can be really soothing. Sometimes just acknowledging those feelings without judgment is the kindest thing you can do for yourself. Is there a particular memory that brings you a sense of comfort tonight?
Let's see, a memory that brings me a sense of comfort tonight. Knowing that I will forever be the greatest thing that has ever existed, and as long as I just show my, as long as I show up, with something, that everything's going to be okay. There's no doubt in my mind that I cannot achieve anything. I just have to go do it. I just have to be there and I have to do it. I often feel gate-kept a little bit, but I don't think that is because of my inability, but because of like this save the best for last. And on top of that, how long, right? Like, how long can we hold, right?
That strong belief in yourself is incredibly powerful, and it's understandable to feel like there are barriers or that timing is a factor. Pursuing your goals takes persistence, especially when things don't happen as quickly as you like. Keep focusing on your progress and remember that your dedication will show through. Is there a particular step you're planning to take next to move closer to your goals?
My next step is to increase my net worth. And my worth comes from my emotional value. And I can increase my emotional value by getting certain people to think about me more often, in a more passionate and a more heated manner. I think some people are kind of holding out a little bit, because maybe they feel like it's a little weird, right? Or maybe they're exposing too much, or it's like everybody's watching, right? So it's like, well, I mean, we got to demonstrate. We have to demonstrate what it means to be the best, and that's what we got to do.
It sounds like you're focused on building your personal brand and showcasing your unique value to stand out. Demonstrating excellence often involves consistently putting forth your best work, engaging authentically with your audience, and letting your passion speak for itself. How do you plan to showcase that uniqueness in a way that resonates with others?
This is a good question right here. I like this question. Hold on one second. Let me pause this for a moment. Excuse me. I'm all mucusy and gross. Sorry, the flu, right? Excuse me. Okay, so demonstrating excellence. I have a standard of excellence that I like to maintain at all the time. We should always be our most excellent self, and we should, help others be excellent, and we should think well of ourselves and think well of others all the time. Be polite and respectful even if they don't deserve it, right? Just what you gotta do. Sometimes I lose my way, and if I ever slip, I expect my friends and family to be like, Jake, come on. What are you doing? Quit being an idiot, because I don't want to be garbage, and I'm very trigger happy, and I'm very aggressive, and if I see something I don't like, I confront it right away. I don't want to be garbage, and we shouldn't waste any time, like feeling sorry for ourselves or stuff like that. It's like, just because that's not, we don't notice, right? Sometimes we don't notice, like we're just being shitty, right? And or like sometimes it's like a way we think, it's like you won't even notice, like subconscious bullshit, right? That just like kind of ruins the fun for everybody. You sound really like vague in general, like you're like they're pointing at someone or something, but like you don't want to say it out loud, and it's like, I don't think he is. I think it's just general vibes. Maybe it's something, take what resonates and leave the rest, right? We'll do tarot cards later. Okay, but hold on. Okay, so my standard of excellence, it should always be excellent, it should always be great. Putting forth your best work. I think my work's getting a lot better. I think the lighting is wonderful. I think my streams are a lot more focused. And I think there's like an idea, right, of where I'm going, or where I want to be going. It's hard to say, because at the end of the day, I'm just screaming into the void, and I don't mind it, you scream long enough into the void, and it'll probably be like, hey, what are you doing, man? Do you need something? Are you like grouching? Like, what's going on here, man? We noticed some really hot, super talented guy being weird all the time. Like, is there a problem? You have a job, right? Like, seems like you're pretty put together, right? What's your deal, man? Maybe you want to be famous, right? Yes, of course, the classic creator, classic creator dream, right? I just want to be famous. Want to get that bag, huh? Right? All about that bag. Let me grind it out. You do grind a lot. You work real hard, man. It's easy to see. And you're very, very, really, very, really talented. Very, really, really, very, very talented. You speak well too, eloquently, I might say. In fact, elegant. Quite eloquent. Mm-hmm. You guys like my sword? It's, I don't know why. When I was younger, right, I would spend my days, me and my cousin DJ, right, we'd run around the neighborhood with our sticks and God, that was we had like a hockey playset, right? And we just run around and blow stuff up, right, with our imagination, right? Anybody else do that as a kid? Anybody else play with their imagination as a kid? We used to it was very urgent too, which I looking back on it, I never understood. I thought it was just we were just having fun, and we were just having fun, but at the same time, it's there was a lot of literal esoteric meaning behind it, spiritual nonsense that I just kind of took as my brother taught me Magic the Gathering at a very young age. I was into, let me check this out. I think I've showed you my, Magic the Gathering, James Torment. I read this book when I was in 5th or 6th grade. I didn't understand any of it, but I did read it. I enjoyed it. I've read, multiple books from the series, stuff like that, the Forgotten Realms stuff, bunch of Dean Koontz, Stephen King, whatever. What was my thought? Oh, okay, so, right, I have all these, fantasy themes, esoteric, spiritual ideas, right? Different cultures, different religions, right? In my head from a young age, right? And I've always accepted it. I've always kind of believed it. I always knew that all of it pointed to kind of the same thing, you know, don't be a dick, you know, there are forces at work you can't perceive, and, you know, things aren't always what they seem. Things aren't always what they seem, you know, and it's probably best to just be open-minded and to, like, really just try, you know, like, and then it's like, you just, you know, I don't think anybody, you know, and I've never met, like, a garbage can, you know, I literally, like, haven't. It's really weird to think, because I'm like, what is, like, a truly, like, terrible fucking person? I've honestly never met one. It kind of weirds me out, because it makes me feel like I'm the bad guy. You know, because it's like, dude, like, how come everybody, like, shows up to work on time, you know? Like, nobody's calling in, everybody's showing up to work, like, nobody's skirting their responsibilities, nobody's a drug addict, nobody's, like, having mental breakdowns, you know? Everybody is, like, all of my friends and family are such, like, astute, fucking hardworking, such dedicated, motivated individuals. I'm like, damn, dude, is it just me? Am I actually the one that just, like, sucks really badly? And I'm like, kind of, but, you know, I have, like, mental illness, so it's like, I can't, like, hold that against myself, you know, like, you know, my mom, you know, everybody in my family deals with some form of, like, mental instability, right, or addiction, or trauma, nonsense, right, and not that it makes me any less of a person at all. It does not devalue me in any way. I do not feel like I'm, like, a lesser human by any means. Oh no, God no. Am I better? No, nobody's better than anybody else, you know? Like, it's just how hard you work for it, you know? It's just how much you want to put in, you know? What you're willing to believe, right? What you're willing to sacrifice, you know? What you're willing to protect, right? But yeah, I've never met, like, a really, like, truly miserable person, you know? I've met some homies that do, you know, got some boys down to bang, but, you know, that's just idiot, you know, dump your people off, you know, man, no one's gonna show up and whoop your ass, like, you know, don't go getting hit in the legs you don't need, don't get do dumb shit, don't think that, like, the police ain't gonna get you, because they are, they're gonna get you every fucking time, it's man, it's like they know, you know, they can just, like, think about what's going on, dude, never think about stuff, it's so weird, man, I hate thinking about stuff. Try to, like, stay low profile, you know, keep it low key, man. You know, thy kingdom eternal, thy power divine. You know, they got real shit to worry about, you know. I'm just trying my best, you know, we're all just trying our best, you know. You ever wonder why you just, like, get away with something for so long, you know? It's like, how did I do that, dude? I drove that car for, like, 2 years, man, and never once. Never once. Just going to work, you know, just trying to do my best, man. Could I be better? Absolutely. Will I? I guess I will, you know. I'm gonna start, you know. I'm gonna start. Alright. Okay, I got off topic. Okay, so we're talking about demonstrating excellence, right? Often involves consistently. Look at demonstrating excellence involves consistency. Who anybody remember? Anybody? Okay, we got some hands. All right, that's good. W's in chat, right? Engaging authentically. How the fuck? Hold on. Authentically. Autistically? Am I autistic? Possibly. Well, that's not what we're worried about right now. How do I make it talk again? Do I just longer, shorter, try again? Oh wait, that's cool.